What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I'm here tonight with the review for Power. This is season 6, episode 12. It's titled He Always Wins. So, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into the video. Now, I don't know who or what or why they decided to give us a pause-centered episode. I was thinking with Paz and Tate and Sax, I was thinking maybe they would intertwine their episodes together since they're not full cast members who have a prominent role. Well, they're not some of the main people like Ghost, Tommy, Tariq, Dre. They're none of those people. They're side characters. I'm not even gonna say Tate is a side character, but Paz is definitely a side character who we didn't really need a whole episode just dedicated to her. Confused the shit out of me. But let's go ahead and just jump into it again. I sat here for 30 minutes cussing because I was like, why is this episode centered around Paz? Paz? There are so many other, like I said again, there's so many other characters we could have done, but whatever. So we see Paz. She's in, at the hospital. It's empty because it's a dream, obviously. But she's walking around. She's asking for help for Angela, and then Ghost comes out, covered in blood, and talking about, she's too late. He did it, and I'm just like, girl, you have got to be stupid if you really think that James is the one that killed Angela. Like, why would he kill Angela? But like I said, it was a dream. So she wakes up and she hears her dad screaming. So she goes in to check on her dad, and her dad thinks that she's Angela. I'm like, damn. So then, she turns on the TV, and there's the announcement about, Ghost potentially about him soon to be the running mate for Lorette. And, her son says, does he know that she's dead? And he's talking about Angela. She says, no, he doesn't know that she's dead. He says, well, why don't we tell him? I was actually with her son like, shit, why aren't y'all telling your dad that Angela is dead? Like, he's not going to eventually realize that Angela's not come around in a while. Now, the dad looks like he might have either, early onset dementia or Alzheimer's. Not sure, but, she tells him that's not something that she wants him to, she's not ready to deal with him and on herself. I'm just like, okay, whatever. So then we see Warner. So Warner, he's on the streets and he's talking to Mock, and I'm like, wow, where did Mock come from? So what he's trying to do is he's trying to get some information from Mock so that he could possibly use it to get rid of Sax. And, Mock is just like, well, I really don't have anything for you. So then, Warner is like, well, how did you get this job in DC? What did you do for Angela? So he gives him a little bit of information, but he's like, I really don't have that much to give you so that you could take him down. And then, he starts to run off the list of people that, Sax has come in contact with that is now dead. And that list consists of Lakeisha Grant, Maria Suarez, Donovan is dead. Who else is dead? Proctor's wife. Proctor's dead. The list goes on. Like, so many people that Sax tried to use, they're all now currently, 6 feet under. But, whatever. So then we see Paz. So she went over to Tasha's. And when she got to Tasha, she's trying to tell Tasha, like, yo, Tasha, we got to work together to take James down. And Tasha's like, I'm not going to take him down. Like, I already don't have shit. So if he's gone, what the fuck am I going to have? Like, I got 2 kids that I got to think about. And, and then Paz, my whole thing with Paz was, she was sitting here, it's like she was trying to defend what Angela has done, and I'm like, Angela by no means was a saint. So if you just sit here and try to play like Angela was a fucking saint, miss me with that bullshit, because Angela knew who James was. Well, she didn't know who he was, but she knew he was married, and she didn't give a fuck that he was married because she still crept around with him. So, girl, your sister was by no means a saint. So, Tasha also says to Paz, if she could take James down, she would. But, she says, and Paz like, well, you ain't gonna help me? Cool. I got to do it on my own. I'm like, you finna do something stupid, ain't you? Like, you finna fuck up a lot of shit trying to take, like, you're letting your vendetta cloud your judgment. That's what it is. You're letting your vendetta cloud your judgment. And we saw that throughout this whole entire episode, which I'm gonna talk about that in just a little bit. All right, so then over at Paz's apartment, we see her son. He's trying to give his grandfather his medication. His grandfather picked the medication up and just threw it on the floor. So Paz comes in, and her son, I think his name is Junior, he asks her for some help. She's like, I can't help you right now. Because she goes in her room, she grabs a gun, she gets a gun. I'm like, man, you are really stupid. Really. Now, I forgot to mention earlier that, her son was asking her about, Angela's pension because he was in school and he needs to know if his tuition gonna get paid. I'm like, well, little man, you might want to do something that a lot of people have done to get their tuition paid. Financial aid, student loans, or get a job. One of the two. It ain't that hard. It's really not that hard. So, like I said, she went and got the gun. And, now we see her. She's getting ready to go, try to find Jamie. And I'm just like, oh, God. So then we do see her. She's outside of Truth. And she's taking it out. And then we see James come up. So then he goes towards the door. And she gets out the car. But then she gets she gets scared because of, of an ambulance going by. I'm like, wow, Paz. You use a G, but you hear an ambulance, and you scurry and you skedaddle, but whatever. So then back to Warner. So Warner goes back to the office. He's going off on security because they've let Sax in. He was like, "Why the fuck are y'all letting him in?" They're like, "Well, his security badge still works." He says he got fired 2 days ago. I'm like, damn. The cops are corrupt, and your security guard, they ain't worth the lick of shit. They just gonna let him in because his badge still worked. Like, whose fault is, well, I mean, when you fired him, I would have thought you would have took his badge, but whatever. So then Paz comes in, and she wants to talk to, Sax. And Warner's like, Sax doesn't work anymore. And he tells her, he says, oh, you're Miss Valdez, you're Angela's sister. He's giving his condolences to her. And he also tells her, they are going to seek justice for Angela. And he tells her that Sax, Sax basically botched the whole shit, botched the whole investigation. So then we do see her. She goes over to Sax's place. And, he tells her, well, the forensics came back and there's no way that, James killed Angela. So they can't arrest him for that. So then, she starts to talk about, she starts to reminisce about things in the past about Angela. I'm like, Paz, Angela's dead. I know you probably tried to do right for her in the past, but your sister is long gone and DEAD. So, where am I at? So then he also says to her that he don't know. He says, oh, she asked him. Okay, so that's where I'm at. She's talking about who did this to her sister. He says that he doesn't know, and he says that they had her. They had basically had Angela in a box, and then he goes on to explain all the shit that they kind of had against Angela. And she says that's bullshit. I'm like, well, unfortunately, it's not bullshit. Like, you had that phone from Tasha, so obviously you knew your sister was not on the up and up. But whatever. I mean, like, you really knew your sister went on the up and up. Excuse me, y'all. So then we see her. She goes back home again. And her son is, once again, talking about money for his tuition. I'm just like, again, little homie, get out. Get a job. Get financial aid. Or get a loan. Something, I mean, I had to do, which one? I had to do two of the three. I did 2 of the 3 to pay for school. I had a part-time job when I was in college, but it was just to have extra money on the side. Yeah. Yeah, I had actually, my first 2 years of college, I had a part-time job. I had a part-time job my first 2 years of college, and then my last 2 years of college, I didn't work. I wanted to work, but I didn't work. Nobody wanted to hire me because they're like, oh, your schedule, you're in school. I put that when I applied for this position, I put part-time because what? I'm in school, but that's neither here nor there. I really thought that was stupid. There are a lot of jobs that I went on interviews for, and they always turned me down because they were like, my school schedule would interfere. And I'm like, but this is part time. So how does my school schedule interfere if I'm telling you I can work in the afternoons? And then the afternoons that I can't work is because I'm in class. And that was maybe that was maybe 2 days out of the week or one. I never understood that. That was the dumbest shit I could ever get. I couldn't grasp, couldn't wrap my head around it. But whatever. Um, where was I at? So yeah, he's talking about money. So she tells him there are a lot of things that they didn't, did not know about Angela, and the son was making a lot of sense to her, but she once again wants to just blame James for everything that went wrong with Angela, and I'm just like, again, Angela was no saint, and then when she found out who he was, Angela could have turned him in, but Angela turned a blind eye to who James really was. Well, she didn't turn a blind eye to it. She got in bed with. She was already in bed with him, but she got deeper and deeper. So if anybody's to blame for what Angela did, it's Angela. And I was so sick of Paz. And she says there's one more thing she can do, but it would ruin Angela. And her son said she's dead. What more can you do to a dead person? She's dead. And I'm just like, finally. I'm like, Paz is really actually started to irk and irritate me. Hell, this episode was irking and irritating me. A Paz-centered episode? The fuck? So then we see Paz. So she's back at Warner's office. She asks Warner, what would you say if I could give you evidence that proves that, Angela was, not on the up and up, and she was, helping St. Patrick's. He says, well, if you could do that, it might not be, it might not be good for your sister, right? Because if you give us evidence that proves she was a dirty cop, then that would mean no benefits, no pension, no nothing from her. So, are you sure you want to do this? And she was like, yes. She wants to. She would lose everything and bring him down. And I'm just like, are you fucking stupid? Like, you would really give up your sister's pension and her benefits to just bring this man down? Like, I just couldn't understand it. I thought it was the stupidest shit I've ever saw in my life. So then we do see them they're at the cemetery, and they're exhuming Angela's casket. And they find the phone. So then we see back at the office, the FBI agent comes in, and he's saying, I got some good news and I got some bad. And she says, what's the good news? Warner says, nope. Bad news first. So the bad news is that the SIM card is destroyed. Basically, it's trashed. But the good news is that there are some text messages in there in the phone that they were able to retrieve. But the text messages don't really prove anything. It's just basically talking about meetups, and it's like yes, no, meetup, maybe. It's one response answers. So it doesn't really help them out in this instance. And I'm just like, really, Posse? You just fucked up your sister's benefits. You proved that she was, dirty, but you really just fucked up her benefits, and you fucked like Chuck. So, and that's exactly what Warner told her. He says, well, it does prove that, she wasn't good, but it's not what we need, and you just kind of messed up your sister's benefits. So she says, okay, well, how about I do this? How about I wear a wire? That way we can get him. So, Warner's telling her what to ask for when she goes to see James. So then we do see her, and this is a scene from the mid-season finale where she was at the club. I think this was around the time that either Ramona came in there or she came, or she was already there and Ramona came. I can't remember how it played out. But she's talking to James. She tells him, she says, I know you didn't kill Angela. And then, she's still clutching his purse. And I'm like, I'm like, you're stupid, right? Because if you pull this gun out, you have a wire on. So they're going to get you you will be caught immediately. Dumbass. So then she asks, like, what was Angela doing for you? He says Angela was, just basically keeping everyone safe. And Warner's like, yes, say it, you dumbass. I'm like, he might not be as dumb as you think he is. So then she asked him, what was she saving you guys from? But he never said to her what she was saving them from. So then, she asked him once again who killed Angela. He says, I can't tell you that because I don't know who killed Angela. And she gets pissed off. I'm like, he's kind of protecting your dumb ass, but go off if you want to do that. Go off. So then we see Paz, she's still upset. And in the process, like I said, she just fucked up Angela's benefits and pension. So then she rushes to the hospital where her dad and son are. And the nurse is telling her, she said, was it a heart attack? She says, no, it was more like a panic attack. And she said, why would he have a panic attack? She says, we don't know. But then we find out the reason why he had a panic attack is because her son told her dad that Angela is dead. And, so her son, he's pissed off because, she told him she fucked up. So he was like, he wanted to take action to it, matter to his own hands. She's like, no, don't do that. Let's let the system handle this. I'm like, let the system handle it, huh? Let the system handle it, but your sister is dead. Let that system handle it. I mean, hey, if that's what you want to do, you knock yourself out, you go for it, you do what you gotta do. But I wouldn't trust that system. Oh my God, I'm already tired of talking about this fucking episode. We're gonna get through it. We are literally gonna get through this episode. I'm so exhausted. I ain't even exhausted, period. I'm just tired of talking about this episode. This episode was about Paz. Like, I didn't give a fuck about Paz. Like, damn. Like, I'm really trying to stretch this shit out, but it's not much that I can stretch out. This episode was bullshit, Courtney. Bullshit. So, so she told her son that she was going to go try to get her check early from the salon. So she goes to the salon, and as she comes out with her check in her hand, who's there but annoying ass Blanca? And she tells her, we got shut down for the murder, so we can't really go after James St. Patrick anymore. And it's all over, and I'm just like, oh God, can somebody just shoot her? So then, she goes back to Paz. She goes back to Tasha saying, what, you were absolutely 100% right. He always fucking wins. And she says, why did you call me earlier? And Tasha was like, she was thinking about what Paz says, but then, she can't really do it. So then Paz also apologizes to her for earlier, because she mentioned that she lost one child. And Tasha said, you didn't say nothing that wasn't true. So, she says, and she also tells her, what, I owed Angela for what she did for Tariq, and until I also owe you. So then she also tells her that James has moved on with another woman, and it's Ramona. So then we see Paz, she goes to Tommy. So she's asking Tommy to kill, James, because, she still thinks that James killed her sister. I'm just like, girl, well, she thinks he had something to do with it. I'm just like, you are so barking up the wrong tree. And Tommy's like, I can't do that. Like, can't do that. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock, because you're the one that killed Angela. You're the one that killed Angela. So then, how in the fuck did I put Angela? I put Angela tells Warner, but it was actually Blanca. Blanca told Warner that Dre said that he saw, James kill Terrence Sullivan. And he was like, not you. You drinking the same Kool-Aid that fucking Sax is drinking? Like, he's fucking, like, he would, of course he would say that. He hates him. I'm like, thank God somebody knows that shit. So then there's this guy, she tells him, because he said don't do it. She says you're too late. So then she leaves, and this guy named Steven from the Democratic Party comes in, and he's talking about Angela's body being exhumed, and how this is a closed case, and now that James is on the Democratic Party with Lorette, he's a part of the Democratic Party, so leave him alone. So then we see Warner. So Warner goes and to meet that judge, and he's saying that they have new evidence against James. So, he tells them, that they had that lying bitch Dre. I'm like, y'all really are this crooked and corrupt that y'all want to bring this man down that badly? Shit, that is ridiculous. So then we see Paz. She goes to look in her purse, and when she looks, she's at home. She cried herself to sleep. So she wakes up, she looks in her purse, and in her purse, the gun is gone. And she's like, Junior, Junior. And Junior's gone. So then she does, she's driving and she finds him. She tells him, go home, and she takes the gun. So then we see her, she ends up at Truth, and she goes into the restroom, and in the restroom, she runs into Ramona, and Ramona says, thanks her for helping her see who James really is. I'm like, if only you knew. Here's a theory that I have, you guys. I'm just gonna break away from this episode review for just a few minutes. So I've been going down the list of people that we know that we have suspects for who shot James, who killed James. So it was 6 people, right? You guys, six, right? It was Dre, it was Paz, it was Tasha, it was Tariq, it was Tate, it was Tommy, and it was Sax. So we've knocked off 2 people already, right? So that leaves us with 4 people. I know I have my hands are jumping for some odd reason. Don't know why. Like a nervous twitch or something. Wait, we had 7 people? We had 7 people? Hell, I just thought about that. It was 7 people. I could have swore it was 6. Let's run down that list again. It's late at night, you guys, so don't judge me for the counting. But it was Tate. It was okay. So it was Dre. It was Paz. It was Tasha, Tariq, Tommy, Sax. Did I really count 7 people? I'm tired. Okay, Paz and Dre. They're not on. They're not there. They're out. It was Paz and Dre. It was Tasha, Tariq, Tommy, Sax, and Tate. So it was 7 people. So we still got 5 people left. My bad, y'all. There's still 5 people left. But of those 5 people, I don't think any of the 5 that are left. I don't think Tasha did it. I don't think Tommy did it. I don't think Tariq did it. I don't think Sax did it, and I don't think Tate did it. I don't. I have 2 people in mind who I think might have shot James. I think it's either Ramona or it's that guy Q. Is that his name? The one that just mysteriously showed up at Tasha's daycare with his kid. It's though I'm thinking it's one of those 2 people. I don't necessarily think it's gonna be someone that I think they're throwing us off with these people that they have. I don't think it's any of them. So let me know what you guys think. Like, I don't believe it's any of those people that I just named. I think it's 2, of the people that we know that are suspects. I don't think it's any of them. I don't think it's any of them. I literally believe it's someone we are going to least expect. I don't deviate from the show and I forgot where the fuck my notes were. So let's stop right here. I'm still stuck on why this is a pod-centered episode. So we see Paz, she goes back to the hospital, and she tells her dad that she went to see James. And once again, Daddy thinks that she's Angela until he finally looks at her and realizes, you're Paz. He says, you know why I named you Paz? Because your name means peace. I'm like, well, she don't know no peace right about now. And, she tells him that she went to go kill James, but she couldn't do it. So then she turns on the news and to find out she's at home, and she finds out that James was shot and killed. I'm like, Her son's like, you said you didn't do it. She said, I didn't do it. I'm like, she didn't do it. Your mom didn't have the balls to do it. So then we see Steven. He returns back to Warner's office, and he tells him, so, yo dumbass decided not to listen to me, huh? Well, guess what? There's going to be a phone call coming in a few minutes, and you are out of a job, my friend. And, he's like, you just don't went completely over your head. I'm like, yep. He turned into Sax. And lo and behold, he was correct. That phone call came through. And then we see his name coming off the door. I'm like, ooh, shit. You are done, buddy. So then we see Blanca. She's with Spanky. And then Pa shows up and she wants to talk to Warner. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, if Warner got fired, how the fuck did Blanca not get fired? Blanca is the whole reason for this, but okay, whatever. So, she says to Paz, I can make a few phone calls but about Angela's pension, but it might not happen. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. She was just proved to be a dirty cop, which I really do feel. As much as I dislike Angela, I actually, in this situation, I feel bad. Like, Angela was no worse than anybody else that she's worked with. Like, despite her downfalls and her faults, Angela was actually kind of a good person. God, I can't believe I just said that. I literally cannot believe I just said Angela was a good fucking person. Angela Valdez. But she was better than Sax. She was better than Mock. She was better than what was the one's name that they tried to blame James for killing him? That other dirty cop. They killed another cop. But yeah, Angela, in the grand scheme of things, she was a lot cleaner than some of these that we still. I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck Sax is still alive, but whatever. And then, Pa's like, you know what, I don't want any money. I just want my sister. So we see her, she's marrying Angela, and then as she's leaving, she gets a phone call. So we see her at a lawyer's office with her son, and we see Kate there as well. So we find out that James updated his will after, I believe, Angela died. And, he updated it and put pause in the will and left her some money. She said she would not accept it. I'm like, shit, bitch, I would take every dime he gave me. The fuck you mean? So then she runs into Tasha in the hallway, and she asks Tasha, did you kill him? And Tasha said, she said, let me guess, he left Angela some money. That fucking asshole. She says, no, he left me some money. And then, Tasha tells her, you should take the money. Like, I know you need it. Like, take that fucking money. And then she pulls her in the room, and she tells her he didn't kill Angela. She says, she's like, she's still going back and forth. I'm like, you dude, Sax told you verbatim, he did not kill your sister. Why are you being so gung-ho and stupid about this bullshit? So Tasha finally tells her, it was Tommy who killed her. And then she starts replaying it in her head when she went to Tommy, when he said he couldn't do it. Like, duh. So then, she goes over to Tommy's apartment, and that apartment is empty as fuck. And she's just screaming Tommy's name. I'm like, well, I don't know what you thought you was going to do, but you're not going to do anything right about now. But you guys, that was Power. So be sure to like this video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button, share this video, and I will catch you guys later. And also, if you guys would like to follow me on social media, my Twitter is JB_the_CEO. My Snapchat is Mr. GB_ it is to you. And the Twitter, no. Snapchat, Twitter, and my IG, that's what it is. It is Jbsayzwhat. And I also do have a new channel, you guys, that I'm going to start working on this week. Is going to be a planner channel, and once I start up and running with the planner, I'm going to put the information on in this channel, and I'm going to, link you guys to my other IG page for my planner. But until the next video, you guys, later.